New Edge Pro Gel, official sponsor of NFL Team Highlight Films. Edge Pro Gel will give you a shave so comfortable that no other gel or foam can beat it. For a great, comfortable shave every day, try New Edge Pro Gel. Save your skin.
Good afternoon. Bob Irsay here at Three River Stadium as the Colts get ready to play the Pittsburgh Steelers for the second time this year. Everybody remembers the last meeting, the AFC Championship game. This one's different. It's a wild card game, but everything is on the line again. The Colts know they have to play their best football of the year to win this one. And once again, everything is on the line.
What you do? You always hit. You want to hit on three. 1, 2, 3, hit.
In the second quarter, the Colts fought back from a 13-0 deficit.
Let's hit that pressure on him. Got it. Got it. Come on.
Tom Zach takes the snap, drops straight back, sets, throws to the sideline. Oh, and he's picked off. The Colts are going to score, running down the sideline for a touchdown. The Colts get on the board on the pickoff and the interception by Eugene Daniel. The snap to Harbaugh. Jimmy throws to the end zone. Touchdown! The Colts have scored again. A catch made by Aaron Bailey.
But the final score was uncharacteristic for a team that had demonstrated remarkable resiliency throughout 1996. A team that was especially tough in tight spots. A team that possessed a genuine flair for fighting back. The Colts made it clear that their defining 1995 campaign was no fluke. The 1996 team possessed a steely determination that enabled them to withstand a wicked wave of injuries, battle through a mid-season slump, and emerge victorious in 6 of 7 games that were decided by a touchdown or less.
Fly around the ball. Fly around the ball and work. 180. Set it. Set it.
The ultimate proof was a second straight winning season and a wild card berth that made this the first Colts team in 20 years to garner back-to-back playoff appearances. During 1996, courage, confidence, and consistency were firmly established as the hallmarks of a franchise that achieved success and earned respect.
Houston's way inside of the 30. 15, 10, 5. Potter's going to score. Touchdown. Harbaugh takes a snap, sets up, looks. He's aiming it for the end zone, running all along the state line. Touchdown! Brian Stabline all alone.
The Lindy Infante era got off to a flying start when the Colts hosted Arizona in the season opener. The defense allowed just 2 field goals through the initial 3 quarters, and the safety blitz was especially effective in confounding the Cards. Jim Harbaugh threw for a pair of touchdowns in a 20-13 victory.
Fakes to Marshall, rolling right, throwing, touchdown Crockett! Zach Crockett! Harbaugh rolls right, look, stop, he airs one out deep down the right side, intended for Marvin Harrison, touchdown! Marvin Harrison on a great throw by Harbaugh! Touchdown Colts!
In week 2, the team's competitive character continued to take shape as the Colts battled to victory despite losing 7 starters to injury during the course of the game. Ken Dilger's 156 receiving yards were the most ever by a Colts tight end.
The delay back to throw as Harbaugh rolls to the right, got plenty of pressure, throws to the end zone. Dilger got it! Touchdown, Kenny Dilger! A great catch and a score!
While Dilger supplied the thunder, nature added the lightning and rain as a ferocious storm halted play for 32 minutes. But just before the skies had opened up, a huge hole had materialized for Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh's going to run it. Harbaugh breaks free. He's going to score.
Even beneath the clouds, the Colts were shining, but many figured they'd be eclipsed by the Cowboys in Week 3. This contest would symbolize the Colts' ability to fight back from adversity. Playing without 6 injured starters, Indianapolis encountered disappointment early when Aaron Bailey's game-opening kickoff return was wiped out by a penalty. Then a Ken Dilger scoring reception suffered the same fate. Trailing 21-3, the Colts produced a pair of field goals to close out the first half, then outscored Dallas 13-0 in the third quarter.
Harbaugh dumps it outside, caught by Marcus Pollard, cuts back in at midfield, he gets a block to the 40, he's to the 35, jukes his way inside of the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, Pollard's gonna score, touchdown! Harbaugh drops the throw, sets, throws quick, it is caught by Dilger, touchdown! Kenny Dilger scores, and the Colts have grabbed a 22-21 lead.
Good protection out there, good job, man. Nice work out there.
The Cowboys went ahead with less than 3 minutes remaining, but Ken Dilger's catch and run set up a Kerry Blanchard field goal, and the Colts were on the verge of knocking out a defending world champ for the second straight year.
Waiting for the snap. It's there, it's down, the kick is up, it looks good, it is! And the Colts, with 51 seconds left, have taken a 25-24 lead over the Dallas Cowboys.
But Dallas got in range for a desperation shot just before time expired.
It's all on the line on the last play, 6 seconds to go. The snap, ball down, the kick is up. It looks short, it looks short, it looks short. It is the Colts. The Colts win 25-24. They beat the Cowboys in Dallas, and the Colts are 3-0 and did it with an outmanned football team, but certainly not outfought.
For a Monday night meeting with Miami, the Colts players weren't the only ones who put their game faces on. The crowd of 60,891 was the second highest attendance in franchise history, and the largest since the club moved to Indianapolis. In the Colts' first Monday night appearance since 1993, dominating defense held the Dolphins to a mere 28 yards rushing while recording 5 sacks. Jim Harbaugh threw for the game's lone touchdown, and Zach Crockett rushed for 81 yards on only 9 carries.
Harbaugh gives it off to Crockett up the middle. He's got running room to 20. He's at the 15, 10, 5, down to 1. Harbaugh bows under center. He looks to throw, uncovered in the end zone. Touchdown, Dilger! Kenny Dilger! A little looping pass from Harbaugh, and Dilger was wide open.
The big question is, can the Colts do it 5-0?
The NFL's only unbeaten team waged a fierce physical battle against the Buffalo Bills. Jim Harbaugh was battered and bruised, but he never backed down, and the Colts rallied from a 10-point deficit, then wound up in overtime. The Bills got the win, but the Colts had scrapped tenaciously before relinquishing their perfect record. And the following week against Baltimore, they again demonstrated their ability to fight back from a setback. Jim Harbaugh's 30-yard strike to Brian Stabline propelled the Colts to a 10-0 lead.
Harbaugh takes the snap, sets up, looks. He's aiming it for the end zone, running all alone at Stabline. Touchdown! Brian Stabline all alone!
Despite a toe injury that would hamper him all season, Marshall Faulk flashed the form that made him the team leader in rushing yardage and total yards from scrimmage for the third straight season.
Harbaugh pitches to Marshall Faulk. He'll try to turn the corner. Touchdown, Marshall Faulk.
In another tight contest, the defense went on a tear as number 98 Tony Siragusa registered a sack, and Jeff Harrod came up with a very big play.
Vinny Testaverde hit as he throws, picked off by the Colts. Intercepted by Jeff Harrod. He's at the 40, he's at the 50, he's out of the 40, out of the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Jeff Harrod! Jeff Harrod picks it off and goes 67 yards for the touchdown. Jeff Harrod with a great pick.
But despite owning first place in the AFC East, the Colts were stalked by a shadowy nemesis called injury. Among the 19 starters who missed a total of 77 starts were Marshall Faulk, Jim Harbaugh, Zach Crockett, Trev Alberts, Tony Siragusa, Quentin Coryatt, and David Tate. Key subs including Lamont Warren and Derwin Gray were also affected by an epidemic of aches and pains. Injuries made it hard to maintain continuity, and that made it difficult to maintain focus. The result was a 4-game losing streak, in which the Colts gave up 12 turnovers while scoring just 3 touchdowns. What had been an impressive 5-1 record had given way to an uncertain 5-5 mark. Clearly, the Colts had lost steam, but after some soul-searching, they would show that they hadn't lost heart. During an uphill struggle, the team maintained desire and discipline, thanks to head coach Lindy Infante, owner Jim Irsay, and director of football operations Bill Tobin.
Bill has brought in the idea of being a very physical team, and I think that has given us a chance for some consistency. One of the things you find common with people in his position that have success is passion and commitment. Lindy did a very good job of coming in, trying to make the program his own, but at the same time not changing things that already worked. It was a tough year to take over because the coach he followed was very popular and the success was very great in '95, so I think he did an outstanding job on following up with that, particularly with the injuries.
You guys are doing it again.
I was just telling Tom Jack, we got our fingers in every hole in the dike you could put a finger in. We've run out of fingers now. You know, it's been ugly all year. There's never been a place that has so many injuries.
Injuries gave every player an opportunity to contribute, and this total team effort was exemplified by an offensive line consisting of Troy Auzine, Tony Mandarich, Kip Vickers, Jay Leuenberg, Jason Matthews, Doug Weidel, Eric Malum, and Kirk Loudermilk. This unit consistently displayed determination, a quality that also described running backs Lamont Warren and Cliff Gross, number 33, tight ends Marcus Pollard, Scott Slutzker, and Bradford Banta, and wide receiver Sean Dawkins, number 87, who caught over 50 passes for the 3rd straight season. Reliability was a team trademark embodied by punter Chris Gardocki, number 17, and place kicker Kerry Blanchard, who became only the 3rd kicking tandem in NFL history to earn Pro Bowl honors. Gardocki placed 23 punts inside the 20 and also led the AFC in net punting average. As the conference's top scorer, Blanchard set team single-season records for field goals and total points. The coverage and return teams were also dependable, as Marvin Harrison, Brian Stabline, Mark Stock, and Ray Buchanan, number 34, shared punt return duty. In Aaron Bailey, the Colts also boasted a kickoff return threat capable of going coast to coast at any time.
High and overhead kick. Bailey comes forward, plays it at the 5, 10, 15, 20. A wall opens up. He's at the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Aaron Bailey's on his way. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. 10, 5, touchdown. Aaron Bailey. He runs it back 95 yards.
Tony McCoy, number 61, symbolized the tenacity of the defense, as did Iron Man Bernard Whittington, number 95, who played in all 16 games. Number 56, Tony Bennett, recovered from an early season knee injury to post 6 sacks. McCoy could also be counted on to crush quarterbacks. And Stephen Grant, number 59, continued to develop at outside linebacker. Inside linebacker, number 54, Jeff Harrod, topped the team in total tackles for the 7th time in the last 8 seasons, while cornerback Eugene Daniel, number 38, has now played the 2nd most games in club history. Daniel, Harrod, and safety Jason Belser, number 29, combined for a team record-tying 4 interception touchdown returns during the regular season. Belser, the only defensive player to start all 16 games, and Daniel helped bring the losing skid to a halt when the New York Jets visited the RCA Dome. Daniel produced a pair of thefts that included a touchdown return.
Here comes the pressure. He throws up there, picked up by Daniel. Eugene's at the 30. He's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Eugene Daniel.
Belser also came up with a pick as the Colts recorded 5 takeaways, and team sack leader Richard Dent caused a safety in a win that put Indianapolis back above the 500 mark.
Mike will go out of the shotgun. Nobody back with him, back to throw. Right sets up. Hit as he throws, spun around drop. Is it a safety? Is it a safety? It's right there.
Leadership from veterans on the field and from decision-makers in the front office inspired the Colts to fight back from a difficult stretch that would have finished a lesser team. Many young players blossomed during injury-plagued 1996. Second-year strong safety Ray McElroy was particularly versatile. He had the talent to sing the national anthem before game time, then record a sack after the game was underway. Rookie cornerback Dedrick Mathis, number 26, was a durable defender. And Steve Martin, Steve Morrison, number 52, Elijah Alexander, and Sammy Burrows, number 53, all stepped up to make substantial contributions to the defense. But no young player made a greater impact in 1996 than wide receiver Marvin Harrison, number 88, the team's number 1 draft choice. The speedy Harrison ran his pass routes with the precision of a seasoned pro, and he paced Indianapolis in touchdowns, receptions, and receiving yardage. Marvin Harrison wasn't the only unproven player who responded under pressure. When the Colts fell to 6-6 and Jim Harbaugh was injured, quarterback Paul Justin got the start in a must-win situation against Buffalo. Justin benefited from strong defensive support, as number 36 Damon Watts accounted for 1 of 3 takeaways, while Ellis Johnson, number 62, helped stop the Bills' running game. Justin was cool and efficient, and his 38-yard hookup with Sean Dawkins set up a 4th-period field goal that knotted the game at 10 apiece. Finally, Kerry Blanchard ensured that the second overtime battle of the year between these teams would end differently than the first.
The snap, the ball is up, it's on the way, it is good! The Colts win! The Colts win in overtime! 14-10, Kerry Blanchard comes through, and Kerry Blanchard kicks a 49-yarder in the gun as the Colts win 13-10.
The mid-season fog that had enveloped the Colts was lifting, and against NFC East leader Philadelphia, Marshall Faulk turned in his finest performance of the year.
Justin will give it to Marshall, cuts outside, he's at the 10, he's at the 5, breaks it outside, runs over the tackler, touchdown! Marshall
Falk's 101 rushing yards took the heat off of third-string signal caller Kerwin Bell, who replaced an injured Paul Justin in the second half. While Falk ran for 2 touchdowns in the most decisive win of the season, Bell, in his first ever NFL appearance, completed every pass he threw, including a touchdown to Marvin Harrison, who racked up 106 receiving yards. The Eagles were kept out of the end zone until 5 seconds were left in the game, and the 37-10 victory featured 3 interceptions, one by Trev Alberts, number 51, and 2 by Jason Belser.
Back to throw is Detmer. Throws one over the middle. Drop out from near caught by Belser. 30. He's at the 20. He's going to score. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Jason Belser. The interception return. The cover about 45 yards.
Lindy Infani's system had enabled reserve quarterbacks to engineer 2 consecutive wins. But throughout 1996, Infani relied on Jim Harbaugh for offensive leadership. While Harbaugh's numbers dropped off from his breakthrough 1995 campaign, he remained effective despite the instability of a starting lineup beset by injuries. The key in 1996 wasn't Harbaugh's statistics, but rather his proven ability to direct the Colts' attack.
Way to do the job, baby. Good job.
Hey, let's go, man.
Harbaugh's mobility made him an effective weapon, allowing him to elude tacklers and also to throw on the run with accuracy. He was steady in the pocket, but Harbaugh's greatest quality was courage. He absorbed constant punishment nearly every week, and yet missed just 2 starts. Despite an assortment of ailments, this gritty competitor owned the heart of a warrior. And like the team he led, he kept fighting back. Harbaugh returned to action against Kansas City, and despite a 2-week layoff, he threw for nearly 250 yards in steering the Colts to their 3rd straight win. All 3 of Harbaugh's scoring passes were grabbed by Marvin Harrison.
Harbaugh to throw again. Sets. Has plenty of time. Looks. Aims it downfield for Marvin Harrison. He's got it at the 10. 5. Touchdown, Marvin Harrison. Jimmy takes the snap. Sets. Throws over to Harrison. He's got it. Touchdown.
With 9 seconds remaining, Diedrich Mathis deflected a 4th down pass to protect a 5-point lead. The final victory secured a winning record and virtually guaranteed a playoff berth for the 2nd season in a row. The 1996 Indianapolis Colts demonstrated talent and toughness while enduring their share of hardship and heartbreak. Whenever things got tight and the Colts were on the ropes, their spirit and character moved to the forefront. The Colts could never be counted out, because they could always be counted on to come fighting back. With their no-nonsense style of play and their zest for the game, the 1996 Indianapolis Colts offered a fitting tribute to team owner Bob Irsay, who passed away in January 1997 at the age of 73.
On a taped interview, he was asked how much does he know about football. He said only enough to be dangerous. He wore his emotions on his sleeve. He did what some fans would like to do if they were an owner, which is emotionally will your team to victory any way you can. He really wanted to win as much as any owner, and sometimes the energy wasn't always aimed 100% the right direction, but it wasn't because of the lack of desire and the passion to win. And I think as far as paying players and being aggressive like we were since we've been in Indianapolis, basically, it reflected that. Deep down, he was still the fan, and I think sometimes for him it was overwhelming to really put into place that he was one of the 28 owners of an NFL team, and I think that showed a humble side, a humility side.
During halftime of the Monday night game against Miami, the Colts unveiled their new Ring of Honor, and Robert Irsay was the first inductee.
I kind of go back to watching the Bears in the 60s and him and I being in the snow and the sleet and just being two fans, a father and son, and then to see him up in the stadium here in Indianapolis is kind of a great fitting way to epitomize what he meant to the city. His legacy is going to be bringing pro football to Indiana, and that's a great legacy to have and one that, that I look forward to building off of. I think I'm careful to make sure we continue to do some of the good things that we have been doing, being involved in the community and expanding and kind of putting my own personal authorship around that.
Since the team's move to Indianapolis in 1984, Jim Irsay has overseen the Colts' evolution into a consistently competitive team. Now his next goal is to have an AFC championship in the RCA Dome. The team's recent upswing suggests that this goal is a realistic one. The fireworks that were ignited this season are sure to continue. 5 home sellouts in 1996 recalled the franchise's heady first season in Indianapolis. Jim Irsay's mission is to recapture the enthusiasm that typified 1984 and to show that while the Colts are moving up in the NFL, they remain right at home in Indianapolis.
New Edge Pro Gel presents the Indianapolis Colts Ultimate Performance of 1996. In Week 3 at Texas Stadium, Indianapolis overcame insurmountable odds against the powerful Dallas Cowboys. Quarterback Jim Harbaugh rallied his team from an 18-point deficit by throwing 2 touchdowns, including an 8-yard strike to tight end Ken Dilger. Place kicker Kerry Blanchard kicked a 43-yard game-winning field goal that lifted the Colts to a 25-24 thrilling come-from-behind victory.